우리은행과 함께하는 2024 LCK 서머 그랜드 파이널. 오늘 경기를 앞둔 양 팀의 감독님들 만나서 인터뷰 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 먼저 소개 좀 부탁드리겠습니다. 젠지 감독님부터 부탁드립니다.
안녕하세요. 젠지 감독 김성수입니다.
안녕하세요. 하나생명 e스포츠 감독 최인규입니다.
네, 바로 어제 경기에서 한화생명이 승리를 거두면서 젠지와 한화생명의 결승전이 성사됐습니다. 서로를 만난 소감이 어떠신지 궁금한데요. 김정수 감독님부터 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 어제 경기 보면서 한화생명이 너무 강하다고 생각했고 바로 직전에 만났을 때도 저희가 이겼지만 저희도 긴장하면서 했거든요. 그래서 경기력이 좋은 한화생명이 올라올 거라 생각했고 오늘 조금 긴장되네요.
네, 최인규 감독님 어떠신가요?
네, 저희가 젠지랑 3라운드에서 만나서 패배를 했기 때문에 꼭 복수를 하고 싶었는데 이렇게 또 큰 무대에서 만날 수 있게 되어서 재밌는 경기 펼칠 수 있을 것 같습니다.
네, 한화생명 같은 경우에는 어제에 이어서 오늘 또다시 경기를 치르게 됩니다. 선수단 컨디션은 어떤가요?
사실 좀 어제 경기하느라 또 진도 빠지고 해서 좀 지치고 그런 것도 있었지만 그래도 결승전 무대를 준비할 수 있어서 더 힘내고 재밌게 준비했던 것 같습니다.
네, 반면에 젠지는 8일 만에 경기를 치르게 되는데요. 대회 감각 어떻게 유지하셨을지 궁금합니다.
8일 만에 경기를 치르느라 약간 감각이 떨어져 있는데 그래도 계속 솔랭하고 스크림하면서 그래도 경기 보고 최대한 잘 준비하려고 노력했습니다.
네, 그렇다면 오늘 펼쳐질 결승전 가장 핵심이 되는 라인 어디라고 보시는지 궁금합니다. 김정수 감독님.
일단 가장 중요한 건 미드라인인데 그래도 전라인 다 중요하다고 생각합니다.
네, 한화생명의 생각은 어떨까요?
저도 마찬가지로 5명 모두가 중요하지만 미드 라인이 좀 더 중요하다고 생각하고 있습니다.
네, 말씀하셨듯이 승자조 경기에서 한번 만난 적이 있는 젠지와 한화생명입니다. 그 당시에는 젠지가 3대1 승리를 거뒀었는데요. 오늘은 몇 대 몇 스코어 예상하시는지 들어보겠습니다. 젠지부터 부탁드립니다.
스코어 생각보다는 그냥 이긴다는 각오로 임하겠습니다.
네, 한화생명의 생각은 어떨까요?
결승전이니까 아무래도 3대1 아니면 3대2 예상하고 있습니다.
네, 그럼 마지막으로 결승전에 임하는 각오 들어보겠습니다. 김정수 감독님 부탁드립니다.
저희 선수단이 지금까지 되게 좋은 성적으로 여기까지 왔는데 꼭 마무리 잘해서 팬분들 기쁘게 해드리고 싶고 저희도 최선을 다해서 꼭 우승하도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
최인규 감독님
저희도
부탁드립니다.
선수단 열심히 준비한 만큼 꼭 좋은 경기력으로 보답드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
양팀 모두 최선을 다해서 멋진 경기를 보여주시기를 바라면서 김정수 감독님, 최인규 감독님과의 인터뷰 여기서 마무리하도록 하겠습니다.
In terms of what they need in this composition, he's relatively tanky, has a lot of sustain in team fights, but he can just deny the Skarner some of his entry points because Skarner is so slippery. He can come from any angle, he can go through a wall, he can contest those objectives.
See something more from HLE Esports, debuting this Mordekaiser on the top side of the map for game number 1 of the grand final.
Imagine move around depending on where he's needed.
Yeah, you see Doran's going bottom side here. They set up a deep ward to the left of Genji's Raptor camp, so they'll get some
Jumbling
additional...
is going to continue. Still teleport coming through here. HLE considering a bit of a dive as Keen gets down towards that bottom side. Some burly members of Genji down here, but the death grip comes on through. And Doran able to get Keen down to about 50% underneath this turret.
They're gonna try, but I don't know. This is a level 3 Cassante. Keen, even with half health, should still be quite tanky.
Yeah, well, they get the CC down. There's the pushback. Keen burning, and it is going to be first blood going over to Lehens. Instantly answered by Peanut taking down Keen.
But yeah, they were able to get the kill, but I don't think that's how Humble Life wanted to play it ends.
Oh, and Doran's gonna get stopped on his back, but...
Yeah, that's going to be the pullback there as Lehens in a little bit of trouble. Viper gets that frost shot on him, and his ex-teammate looks to be going down. Peanut collects another.
This will dive. The light is on his way as well. Mort pre-6 is a lot more diveable than afterwards. They do know this is coming. There is a ward there that is going to spot Kenyon. The light's on his way. I don't know if he'll be in time, though.
He's too late. Yeah, Doran's going to be in a lot of trouble, but Delight should turn up.
They know.
Lehens gets the information. And now Doran, can he actually find it? That death grip absolutely amazing. But the crash down's working out. Doran gets a big old shield, and Genji unable to actually close any of these kills. Delight goes in. Canyon's so incredibly low. Lehens trying to tank up the turret, and FaZe ends up collecting the kill. But now the reset monster could be coming through. FaZe has already gone down, and Zeka not actually able to get into range here. You can see him looking for a reset angle, but not going to go too deep.
Well, yeah, on the play.
still a lot of cooldowns, and I think Hanwha Live actually feeling quite good, although with this gank, maybe
Yeah,
not.
big aggression here as Delight's going to get pulled back. The Eclipse doing a lot of work, but I don't think it's going to be able to do enough here as Genji with 3 are able to take him down. Lehen's getting revenge on his opposite number.
Experience gap that we have between two players right now, meaning that Genji isn't really in a position to get anything going when it comes to contesting.
No, I think
Live
Hanwha
doesn't have level 6 just yet, so we'll see if that is enough reason for Hanwha Live to maybe peace out, but nope, not happening.
There's a teleport in, and we do have the ultimate available here from Doran. The arrow going to connect as Viper is flanking. Okay, Stranglethorns is going to kill Canyon. He can't impale his way out of that one. And some more grubs going over to Hanwha Live Esports in this Tristana. Send this drift around the map. Feel really good about it.
Dive Mordekaiser.
Yeah, Dive Mordekaiser at level 10 with the ultimate available. That is a rough choice, but they are still going to consider it. Chovy, he's the one that goes in. The stun had already connected as well from Viper. And Chovy able to get out of the way of one of the abilities, but not that one. Still, it doesn't matter. The Mordekaiser goes down.
But
And
Tristana-
somehow he survives. I think the grass might have been a pretty important part.
Tristana from getting that plate gold, getting that top turret. She still gets it. It's in trade for a turret, but that's a Cassante picking up the gold versus a Tristana picking up the gold. This is exactly where Hanwha Life want to be. Herald gets dropped down here in mid. This is the type of snowball this composition needs to have to win this game. And Hanwha Life are finding the angles. There's that 2,000 gold lead and even an extra crash.
Yeah, another crash, half the health bar, and actually this is just
the
dead.
inner.
It's a Tristana and it's 5 grubs.
One
Like
is try to deny these turrets from going down. I mean, that's the tug of war that we're playing here. That 2,000 gold lead has become a 3,000 gold lead. Zeka, he's the one with all the money. And this is exactly where Han will want to be. But here comes the arrow.
Another arrow going to connect this time onto Lehen's. That's a big impale onto Tula, but the Stranglethorns encounter. Triple knockup. True Shot Barrage says no to that play, though. They take down the turret, yes, but they lose almost everyone. As Hanwha Live Esports now have to back away. But do they even lose? I mean, that's a lot of money.
I think to the more lethal level that we're seeing Hanwha do today with the Tristana yesterday.
Drive-by? No.
I don't think so. So now Hanwha have, second Drake is for a dragon, for example. And, okay, hold that thought. Lehen's going in.
Yep, Deathrum is going to come on through here as Doran just wanting to take down the Rel before the battle's even started. Pace in a lot of trouble in the arrow! And it's Zeka that's able to lock down the kill, gets the reset out of the way of Canyon now. And Lehen's is still alive, but it does not matter. There's so much damage raining down. He finally finds a Magnus Storm, and maybe it's just going to be Chovy that ends the show, but in fact it's not. Because Zeka's here and he says, remember 2022? Well, here's another dose.
And we said it's a 2 Gary composition, and one of the Garys taken out immediately. Raze is blown up.
Taking that short track through their own jungle. They're going to lose all of their camps. They're going to keep falling further and further behind. And Peanut, a player very, very good at this, is there. Impale, speaking of which, he's just going to get blown up. Lehen's going to follow suit, but you can see Chovy in a decent position to do damage, and now Pace is actually in the fight. And look at these queues. They're being torn apart over the wall. Is Zeka, though, still looking for some angles? But they're like, nope, we don't want to risk it. We're going to try and get out of it. Like making their way in here as you can see Viper trying to keep them at bay with that volley.
Lehen's getting a lot of vision set up here actually into Hanwha Life's jungle. It has a nice wraparound angle potentially as well.
Oh, Delight's fishing for it. They find the solar flare. This is the flashless Skarner. He still finds an impale, but is it going to be enough as Peanut goes golden? But that's a lot of bad guys. You're not on Genji anymore, my friend. And Doran now just trying to run away. Once again, Peanut in the ground.
And that's the jungler gone, and now Gen G don't have a jungler themselves. We'll see if they want to go for Baron, because obviously...
Let's flip it, no smites. Let's go.
Well, I don't think they should, but it looks like they might.
Look at the positioning of Lehen's though. He has so much vision. He set it up earlier. They have a lot of information. They can punish. They can turn.
Yeah, Zeka going for a bit of an angle here. The crash down works, and there's the execute. Can't Buster shot him away from that one, and that should be Baron. Going over to Genji as Viper, I don't think wants to contest. Looks like Genji will be able to collect that, utilizing the Baron that they had. Only 1,300 on the Red Bull Baron power play, and Hanwha Life Esports still have a gold lead, but this is really starting to turn into There Be Dragons territory.
Like 3 Qs. As Chovy has a QSS for the arrow, and then also a stopwatch, just to make sure he's okay.
For the next arrow.
Wait.
All right, the arrow is going to connect onto Viper's ex-teammate. The Stranglethorns just spreads them all out. Zeka's almost dead. Chovy is going to use one of his stopwatches, this one for the Death Realm, and now that Mordekaiser is just dead. It's Pace that executes him in the end, and the inner turret now going down. Genji Genji might just be finished with game one.
And Chovy does actually get found by Doran, but Pace says, I can step up this time around, gets the damage, and Halva can't collapse.
Genji, massive win here. It all starts with the play topside. Canyon flashes for the Impale. They get map control. They turn that fight in mid, and it's just so impressive.
And still going. Another Magnus Storm comes in here. Maybe a little bit of a bridge too far there, Lahens, as he was feeling himself. You know, it's been a bit of a hyphy game so far, as that is going to put an end to the push. But an inhibitor is pretty good. Chovy's going to go through those buttons that he has, and HLE Esports going to hope they're not dead by the time Chovy is dead, because if he's left to hit them with anything, he just dies. Arrow going to connect. It does give them a bunch of extra vision. Lahens trying to crash away from this. The Baron kind of ignored now. Doran just putting Lahens into that death realm, and the Impale is going to connect. It's onto Peanut, but he goes golden as well. His Sonya's now completed. Can he get another spell off? And it's the Cassante in trade for this Zyra. But look at Chovy, they just cannot get anywhere near him without almost dying.
And the big thing here is that the bot wave, or top wave rather, still pushing in, and Peanut's down this time. Genji does have the smite. The fight position was a little awkward there. Really well done by HLE to keep the damage from Chovy at bay, but it just doesn't feel like it matters. Maybe they'll be able to trade for the soul here. I don't think that alone is going to be enough.
But I think it's the only choice they can make.
And instead, the teleport comes in and they lose an inhibitor in the mid lane. This Baron doing its work here for Genji. They're not taking the risks that HLE Esports need them to.
And even if Doran flash ults him there, he's got the Zonias, and the rest of the team isn't there to follow up, and then that's just going to be pushing mid. He doesn't commit. He wants to use this defensively. He wants to just buy time for this Baron. 30 seconds left, but now he's down to teleport. The third inhibitor hanging by a thread here.
The minion wave just kind of gave up. And so Paze is going to help that one move on over. Did look a little bit comical, but it was necessary. Arrow going to connect into the backline there. Good buffer on the arcade shift as the Impale used only onto Delight, but he's still melting. Doran trying to get into that backline, but it's Chovy that locks down the first one. Keen in trouble, but how much trouble is he really in? Because this dragon is only just getting started, but so's the Tristana. Some angles here for Viper as well, as now they're looking for it. Chovy is so incredibly low. He flashes low at the burn. Is it enough? And the answer's no, as HLE, they find the team fight. Super minions.
I mean, they have this really insane push. I mean, it is a level 18 full build Tristana here.
25 seconds for base. They can definitely get the inhib.
Oh, we've got an Elder Flip in this game, boys.
Oh,
we have definitely got an Elder Flip in this one. It's going to be an inhibitor to go down here.
And
I don't know whether they get. I
though,
mean, there's a lot of damage. There is a lot of damage. Arrow is back up again. Canyon extremely tanky. Lahens trying to get in there. Look at that. The Nexus turret just evaporates. As Zeka is not going to be dying to Lahens. It's going for it. It's actually for it. The rocket jump and game one goes to HLE Esports.
Oh, Zeka!
Fell apart. When they lost control, they handled the pressure well. They lost an inhibitor, traded up the second inhibitor. Look at how much damage Chovy does, but they kill him.
Position. But once again, with these Azir comps that HLE Esports put together, I don't necessarily see a lot of damage here unless they can really get on top of their opposition. That's this series right now, and they haven't won their first. Let's do it.
Tristana take turrets off the map, snowball the game. This time it's more about subtle objective setup. It's going to be a lot about team fights. It's going to be about the Azir engages, when Zeka goes in, and how much damage he can output in team fights. Because when this Corki Ashe gets to the late
from
game...
the HLE Esports jungler, but Canyon's still going to be able to start off this dragon. It looks like there's not going to be too much response.
Early objectives going. Now Peanut, thanks to the prior they have on top side, is going to be able to...
Peanut, he's coming over. They're looking for an angle. Are they going to be able to find the snare? They do, but the root caller going to come in after the flash. Keen will be alive for now, but that's a big summoner. When is HLE Esports looking to fight? When is...
Yeah, it actually is a little tough. I think you are just situations like this where you can get a man advantage and use the long range engage that you have available.
Not a lot of damage until Zeka gets here. He is finally going to come down. Bellow's breath is fantastic. Even gets the train on in, but Keen is still going to die. And that is first blood going over to Zeka, exactly where they wanted the money.
Yeah, no, you asked where they're going to fight.
Yep, you can see that Peanut and Delight were just shadowing here as they were trying to take this bottom outer turret, but not actually going to draw Keen's attention just yet. He decides to give up on that. Doesn't want to take the risk as they're going to trade dragons 1 for 1 and trade turrets 1 for 1. First turret blood going over to Gen G though.
Up this arrow, but there's the TP.
Yeah, it looks like Life Esports, they've decided that now is when they want to start fighting. Decent buffer on the slice there from Doran as the Dominus does come on through. Lehan's going down extraordinarily low, but so's the Crocodile, and he's going to fall first. The train drives through, but Canyon's already dead. There goes the Blitzcrank as well as the Orn's starting to get amongst it. Delight has been tanking a decent amount as Pace just rockets out of there. Chovy should be able to get over this wall, though not quite enough with the Phosphorus Bomb to be able to take that one down, but he just taxis his way through, and Delight is going to be A-OK. Viper with the shield from the Trigger Seed. As Peanut getting in a little bit of trouble. Pace can't tank up the turret by himself. And it is going to be a 2 for 2 in the end, I believe.
Herald, they get a little bit more map control as well on top of that. And Hanwha Life, had they been a little bit faster to respond, or if Doran teleports a little bit later when they're actually closer for follow-up, I think this could have been a fantastic fight for them. And those are the kind of angles you have to fight. You have to cheat your way through these team fights in a big way, I think, at this stage in the game. And we're not able to make it work in a very confident, or rather, a very decisive way. So Gen G are probably feeling very good about the outcome.
Well, hook onto Daisy.
That's mean.
That is so mean. It is a fair bit of money.
It's good.
For Gen G.
It's a very good hook.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense, especially Peanut had just used it. The chain CC lands on top of him, the Ivan. Oh, they just took down his best friend, and then they cut him down as well. Another hook, and that is the Azir. The main character of Life Esports is just dead, and there's no way they're fighting this one, as the Dragon will go down as well. The second one for Gen G, the first Hextech Drake of this series.
And where game number 1 was an extremely high-paced and kind of frantic affair, this feels like classic Gen G, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're waiting, we're biding our time, but when we see an angle,
We'll
we'll
take a
take
team fight here. Well-deserved way to rocket. 2 items for the Azir. You have a lot of great ways to set up fights.
Oh, once again onto Peanut. The hook is going to connect onto Delight, and he's going to use that to taxi forward. The Blitzcrank, certainly not very tanky, but neither is Delight as it turns out. Redemption to keep him alive, but it's Pace just raining frosty bullets into his backside. And Daisy will once again fall down. This is a 1 for 1 this time. Both of the supports falling down. As a teleport in from Zeka, he just wants to take as much money on this map as he can find. Yeah, there are a lot of bad guys coming, and Zeka does not have a lot of friends on the way outside of Peanut. The flash forward from Chovy. Oh, doesn't get slowed down by the volley. Good sidestep there, as now it might be Peanut going down yet again. He does get the brush for Zeka, who's trying to play it out. Pace almost falls, but it's Zeka that goes down in the end. Delight realizing there's no follow-up, there's no angle, as Lahens versus Viper. From best friends to enemies, and he is going to let him live.
He let him live. That's camaraderie
It's
right
beautiful.
there.
It's mercy.
Fight's over.
Yeah, Keen has started upgrading some items here as well. So those masterworks are going to keep coming in, those ornaments being constructed. As we do have a start on this one, there's a lot of terrain for that arrow to fly through, and there it is. It appears onto the cow. Doesn't even press the R button, does Delight, so that is not really what they were looking for. Life Esports had an inkling on the plate. Doran looking for a flank angle. As there's the curtain call. We have the Dominus come through as well. Doran into that backline. The Emperor's Divide is decent, but they're being cut apart. And yes, they get the Corki, but at what cost? And the answer is, yeah, everything.
They lose basically everything, and this might be the defining
The
moment.
play to walk into Gen G, who have the range advantage, they have the poke advantage, and they have so many ways to respond, as well as another arrow is going to fly in. This one straight between the goalposts. Not going to be able to find too much more there. As Hook going to connect onto the cow, and Delight going to need to use the Unbreakable Will this time, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Thankfully, the curtain call is going to be there, and that does play some interference. Chovy just happily taking these shots, though it's just not doing that much.
But now you don't have your curtain call to really defend the siege, and Chovy's wrapping around. He's starting to put those arrows, and here comes the Ornhorn.
Yep, the train is going to come on through once again. Good double knockup comes down, but the redemption is there to keep them healthy once more. It's an N for no. Do not push in. That's what those brushes were saying.
Not in terms of killing structures and killing turrets and trying to get the Tristana ahead, but you need to actually win team fights. You need to be oppressive on the map. Once you lose control, Baron goes down. Now Gen G go, yeah, we get set up for the vision.
Possible angle here, but this is a very tanky Keen. Able to walk his way through the Emperor's Divide. The Stranglethorns comes in. The rest of Gen.G, they're making their way over, but it's just not quite in time. They'll take a Consolation Daisy, but they still lose their top laner. As Lahens takes a bunch of damage here from the curtains. As the Dragon's up in 48 seconds, just not quite enough to give them an advantage.
That's
that
the
little skirmish, but the arrow is up and it's going to be thrown straight into Zeka, who's in Fog of War. There is a brush there to make sure that he is not going to be seen. Finally, they get a control ward through, but now, will it be Hextech Soul, which is probably game, or will it be a one-team fight finally for Humble Life Esports? Already Keen going down very, very low as Chovy trying to cut up Doran. And Doran just can't do anything. He's kind of a handbag in this one. They do manage to take down the Dragon in exchange for the Crocodile. It's a reptilian bargain, but I don't know whether it's going to work because it looks like after the deal is done, Gen.G trying to close this one out. The train does get one knock-up, but not onto the priority target as Zeka in the brushes once again. He has Emperor's Divide, but he uses, Emperor's Escape instead.
They now have Cryo on the Baron.
Arrow going to sail through once again. Delight just going to McHale's, and he is going to be A-OK.
The poke, though.
That was Peanut that utilized his there. I was wondering where it came from. Delight is sitting there with a Warmogs, and he can't activate that to get out of CC. It does hold on to his ultimate. That is the important part.
You gotta go.
You gotta go, you have to fight, but you're cut off, you have no mid-prio.
Yep, Doran knows exactly what's going on, but what is one Croc supposed to do against this one? He presses the dominance, but Humble Life Esports are just a little bit too late, and that is going to be the Hextech Soul to come in. Doran is executed, and in they go. The hook is going to connect. Zeka goes golden, but that only buys a couple of extra seconds. The Emperor's Divide was by 0, I'm pretty sure, in that instance there. And now they're going to move on over towards this Baron and try to take that one down. Keen looking for a little bit more as Peanut will get knocked off the gate. And he is going to be able to take it here. But that is not going to stop.
Will I be doing this? I'm your big bro.
You see how much space Gen.G is just able to create consistently, right? Because there is so much CC and so much damage available. If you overstep,
Daisy!
already,
Oh, arrow once again going to be collected, but it's Peanut that's in trouble. He's isolated. Another hook! This time onto the Crocodile. The Sterix does nothing because he just can't move. And Gen.G there will be able to take down the top laner. That's going to buy them so much space. This base is just not going to last very much longer.
I mean, if you get slowed, he's going to hit that hook every time. And you have Hextech Soul.
And he's sliced to get out of the way as well, and then got hooked. There's no way he can do anything.
It's just doomed. It's just doomed in this one.
And the first inhibitor turret is going to go down. Inhibitor very short to follow. Minion waves prepared earlier here for Gen.G are now taxiing towards both flanking turrets here. And Humble Life Esports, is there anything? Is there any angle? The thing is, I just don't see it. I don't see what they're supposed to do in this situation. Another arrow going to be soaked by Peanut. The tree is felled once again. The cow follows suit. The pigeon's down. And Viper just has to look on in horror as his menagerie is destroyed. And the Nexus is going to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, in this grand final, it's turning into a best of 3 as Gen.G clap back, and they clap back hard.
The series. So draft is very important in this one. I think this draft really didn't hit. Of the drafts we've seen here in Gyeongju this week from Hanwha Life, this weekend, I think this one has been by far the weakest. And I think we'll see a lot more opportunity for Hanwha Life when they have blue side. They have that first pick, and they don't have to ban the Rumble away. They don't have to ban the Ziggs on red side, leaving them with only the Nidalee ban. I think there's a lot more options for them going into game 3. This game for me...
Counter-strike versus hookshot towards the top side. The battle of the side laners here in the Camille versus Jax. I think Camille is going to be a difficult champion to play into the Ziggs for the last 2 years. It's a tall order, but it's one that they're going to have to see through if they want to see match point at the end of this one. See what they can get done here as we jump onto the rift for game 4. It's happened just yet. Maybe the Blue Sentinel is going to do it, but it does actually receive it here as Canyon is going to start off on his top side as well.
Peanut, though, going to be starting here on the red side blue buff. So this is something that, that little skirmish and then attempt
for 2 reasons. One, his passive gives him so much damage to turrets. And then secondly, he has TP. Viper ended up going barrier, which I do think is warranted given that you're playing into a lot of bursts. as we're trying to deny Keen access, but with Lance Dower and level 2, we'll see if they can get him. Yeah, that shouldn't.
Yeah,
17 win streak.
Yeah, the 17 win streak is pretty good. The Grand Entrance is even better here as Lahans is going to go down. That's first blood to the Jin. And I think that this one may look a little bit better.
Jackson, Camille Jax is going to get to a point where he can carry us.
Yeah, this is a rough time as we're not going to be able to queue out of that one. Zeka has to flash to remove himself. Doesn't have the ultimate available just yet.
They have a lot of control over the grubs right now. They have a numbers advantage here. Tough for Keen to rotate his way in.
Yeah, Doran does have the inside track, so that's going to help out. There's the flash Grand Entrance. It's going to connect onto Peanut here. Onto Lahen, sorry. As the hook shot comes on through. There's the flash in from Doran. He wants steak for dinner, and he might just find it. The fate is sealed. And Zeka picks up the kill. It's another one for Hama Life Esports, and now they're looking for some grubs.
And Gen G looking disjointed because Keen was catching the wave, wasn't able to make his way over. So the rest of the team playing really aggressively for a contest on these grubs. Doesn't end up working out. Kane going for a steal.
Yeah, a little bit of a drive-by situation here. Wants to be able to grab one of them, but there are 3 versus 2. In goes Keen, and they take down the tree. It's going to be the Skarner locking one up, and now Chovy a couple of autos, and Zeka is just dead. Delight in trouble too, and it's a double for the Corki. And it went so well at the beginning, but it's just all gone on its head now as Hama Life Esports all just lying in the dirt, and Gen G.
The subsequent play misses his hook shot, doesn't actually hit the wall as Canyon might be in trouble.
Okay, yep, that is a jump scare if ever I've seen one. Does find an impale on 2, but what is the answer after that? That's the question, and the answer is a sealed fate, as they are going to keep him alive for a while because they wanted Viper to get the kill, and ultimately that is precisely what they'll achieve.
Still a pretty decent position here for Gen G. It might get better.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily the greatest of trades there for Doran, who just gets leapt on and destroyed.
Looks like
and,
he thought it was going to time out as a Keen. It might be in some trouble here.
Yep, Doran just calling in his mates here as Delight is also in a lot of trouble. The Nature's Grasp is going to come on through, moves out of the way of the turret there. So now a killing spree for Viper. He is very scary. But I don't know what it all means yet, gentlemen. The gold is completely even. Canyon's now found another target as they just separate Doran. Top laners are just not having a great time, except, oh, that's a gorgeous impale. Zeka says, oh, my people need me. I'm gonna have to leave, but Doran doesn't have that option.
It was kind of a beatdown. Game 3 is a cartoon. I don't know what's happening. Everyone's getting dove in sides.
We just needed
Be
Doran
my
to say,
guy.
"Meet
Game
me,"
3
because
is
he
a
was going-
TikTok chronicler. Oh, doesn't
right.
get the final shot.
Yeah.
So,
But they have a huge amount of prio right now.
double TP available. Triforce done for both top laners as well. Also,
Yeah.
no, we didn't get a second contest on the Herald. It actually was, or on the Grubs rather. It's just straight to this. And yeah, even with the vision that they have, I don't really think Hama Life are in a great position here. As Zeka.
And this is just going to simply be Herald going over to Gen G. They got that last dragon, which at this stage of the game will still be quite relevant.
Yeah, Kane now moving back towards the inner turret. It looks like maybe Gen G not wanting to fight for this one as Canyon just drives through the wall and heads back to the mid lane. And yeah, they are going to give this one up. They're just going to look for some turrets if they can find them. Rift Herald is going to be thrown down, but Hama Life Esports don't want to give it up without a fight. A possibility here as the headbutt pulp does come in. The impale, they just want to find any target and lock him down. And Delight can't move for about 15 years, and then he can. And he gets out. Mega Inferno Bomb not going to be enough. As Zeka, he just rebinds, and now the curtains have been called. Can they find anything? Can anyone die in this fight? Okay, yeah, Shelly. They do get Shelly. Sorry, Shelly. Someone had to go down.
So yeah,
We do have
ultimately,
a turret that doesn't go down, and we've got a dragon that was taken there by Hama Life Esports, and now Chovy's in trouble. Hextech Ultimatum comes in, the flash already down. Grand Entrance comes through, and Chovy, nothing you can do about that one. Teleported already.
is
Mega
early.
Inferno Bomb is up. This Baron's going down so incredibly fast, so they're all inside the pit. The Camille goes down so incredibly fast with the knock-up. Great here, the baits get sealed, but Zeka also just straight up goes down. This Counter-Strike doesn't quite work. Hama Life Esports, they have found a disengage. The curtains have been set, but now the Baron belongs to Gen G. And Hama can't do anything about it. Peanut trying to get himself in there. Pays can't tank it up. He probably shouldn't be the one doing that as Lahens gets the wraparound and Pays gets himself over the wall. still. Hens does go down. Viper gets himself over the wall as the Baron is secured there by Canyon. It's absolute cinema. And Genji come out on top.
They could have just taken the TP and let it go. We're 22 minutes in. Ziggs is gonna absolutely shred your team. If this is way later, then maybe you can get away with it, but Hanwha make a huge mistake.
Given the comp of HLE, I think if HLE didn't use that Maokai ultimate right on that last pick onto Chovy, then maybe they could have turned, maybe they could have made that Baron work, but so many consequences of their actions here, and you can feel the pressure that Genji has on the map over them right now. The best they can get, but it's map control that comes with that. It's the warding they have down on the bottom of the map here that comes with it as well.
Not to mention the fact that they now get to move through the enemy jungle over to this inner turret as well, putting pressure in so many places. There's the satchel under the turret, and it's a free kill onto Doran at the same time. Genji might be able to use this as the teleport does come in, but Zeka, unfortunately, the Camille just goes down. He's not able to...
They didn't have a minion to help out, get it down a little bit lower, help them auto.
Well, the cupcake, that ain't gonna do it either, as FaZe really wants to help push this one through. But in the end, it's going to be Keen here, just taking out a turret and then looking to take down a Doran as well. He's flashing in for this one, as, yeah, tactical sweep, not really gonna be doing too much there. Does avoid the counter-strike as he flashes away, and the deadly flourish comes down. So Doran keeps himself alive, puts everything into the play in order to get out.
This is the angle where you try to start a Baron fight and go for a Hail Mary here in turn, because this time you have your ults. This time you have the tools, you have vision, you have the scuttle. You lost the dragon here, but I don't think it matters as much. Dragon to try to threaten the Baron. They're being very timid here, and I think that you've got to pull the trigger and do something risky when you have those ults, when you have those tools, and when you have that turn as Hanwha. If you just let Genji get it for free and you just sit back, you're not going to outscale them. You will not beat them in that longer game.
Oh, Doran in a little bit of trouble here as he tries to hookshot his way out. It just does not work. The ultimatum is something that Genji doesn't really care about, because either option they're okay with. And Keen gonna step on a sapling and not worry about that one either. So now Doran dead once again. 6 deaths in this game, and Genji not even wanting to start the Baron. They just want to do it again. And Canyon, we'll just see whether he just keeps doing loop-de-loops here.
A little U-turn.
Until they all die.
It's a casual U-turn.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I mean, how does Hanwha approach this? With Peanuts ult alone, it's not going to be enough.
With trepidation and care, Wolf, with trepidation and care as they throw down the ulti. The Fate Sealed was decent, but FaZe goes golden to keep himself alive. Chovy follows suit, and Genji just keeping themselves up. The curtains have been called now, but Canyon able to tank it out. Keen as well, pretty, I say healthy, that last bullet was a little bit scary there now with these 4 items on Viper. And they do have a little bit of space to try and get some damage on this turret as, my God. Okay, does the dot do it? No, not quite.
All right, well, now Hanwha Life have their eyes on the Baron, but again, all the tools are gone.
Hail Mary.
But this time you don't have the tools.
Yeah,
I know that, but I have to try something.
Yeah, can Skana get through walls, guys? I think he might have a way into the pit. As now FaZe moving on over to the side, Lehens, you know that he's lurking, and he gets on in there to pulverize onto. Viper able to get that flash to get himself out, though. He's so much of the damage. And Doran, he manages to take down the cow. Corky goes down as well. The Baron is secured, though, by Genji. And Hanwha Life Esports, it was a bunch of funny business, but it wasn't funny enough to win them the game.
And even with Canyon impaling the air, it doesn't matter. Genji, they have the damage. This time they have multiple threats. Yes, Chovy goes down, but it just doesn't matter. They're about to head up to 2-1, breaking the win streak of this Maokai that has terrorized the LCK and the global stage for so long.
Yep, a win streak was going to die in this one, and it looks like, unfortunately for Peanut, it is going to be his on his tree. Nexus turret does go down, and this Nexus no longer for the world. The short fuse of the Ziggs is enough to take it down, and Genji moves to match point.
Back that pit prio for the rest of the best of 5, and this is where Hanwha fans start to worry.
Also, in game number 1, Zeka had a standout performance. In game number 2 was already feeling that the Zir just didn't really hit the mark. And this one as well, the Yone, we always will be excited when this guy locks it in. But Chovy, we haven't really talked about, has now had 3 amazing games, even though the first one was not enough. The Corky, and it just, again, it's starting to feel like Genji have too many issues. And this is a stark reminder.
This Ezreal some space. The follow-up for it, though, with Ezreal, a little bit risky, a little bit shaky.
Oh, man, he did it.
But this is not a combo about the bottom lane. This is Maokai Blitzcrank, a combo that Canyon and Lehens already specialized, already introduced to the LCK, popularized a little bit. So they're taking a page out of Genji's book here with this lock-in.
And Udia is an interesting choice. He's the only one that we've really seen find a lot of success on this champion. And you can hear in the Gyeongshu Indoor Stadium that this is not a pick that people are super psyched about, because Udia has certainly come with its series of caveats. Misfortune for the first time this series. A lot of change-ups. Let's dive onto the rift for game number 4, and possibly the last of the series if the 5P is to happen.
The Maokai, but it looks like Peanut also was expecting that, starting on Wolf instead, and Keen doesn't want to go that far in, as we do has the early ward being taken out.
Valkyrie out of Chovy, as we could see there.
I mean, they lose
going to be the dragon. Yeah,
They lose
down.
the dragon, and they're not set up for...
Oh, the flash comes through. Peanut finds a window here. The flash hook comes down, and the punch comes in. Another punch there from the big Bramble Man, and Peanut's able to take first blood against his opposite number.
The sapling specifically, the slowdown actually ends up being huge. I still think you take that though if you are Genji.
So it looks like Lehens is going to go take a quick little break, so we might need some additional time. He's also going to hype up the crowd because that's who he is. And I look at this current scenario here for Hanwha Life, and I think in order for them to end up winning...
There that just want to see something different, just want to see what happens as Lehens, he heard what happened when Keria had his little bathroom break last time around.
He's not the only support that can go to the bathroom in the game.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like Delight should just get up and like, now it's my turn. This is how it's supposed to go. It's got to be even. But instead, it's just going to be one of them per series. Now Lehen's going to get back. He's like, where did my mouse go? That could be a peripheral issue.
This next one here, to drop it down to 3, and Canyon's here.
I'm not sure if he was spotted on that ward there. I don't see any pings just yet. Now obviously they know.
Yeah, not a lot of minions, but I don't think it really matters as Stranglethorns goes down. Canyon was just wanting to make the most of it, but they don't find the autos. The beauty of the Jax, ladies and gentlemen, is now Keen. He picks up Taradagger. I don't know about this one. Good flash to make sure that Doran gets himself out of the way, but he's not out of the woods just yet. Few of these autos coming in. There is no mana, but now the nature is grasping. And Keen gets pushed back. Canyon, he picks up the Tower aggro, and Peanut is the one to pick up the kill. And now Zeka comes in. Keen's now in trouble. The flash forward just to make sure that he's able to get it. And there's the buster shot. Explosion combo for another kill for Hanwha.
And Keen, who is in a matchup right.
But they don't have 6 scrubs this time. They only have 3, but even still, the lane assignment here where they just put Doran in mid, he's just going to soak the pressure from Chovy, and now Zeka's actually getting plate gold here, and a significant amount of it too. So what was looking like a pretty muted performance here from this Tristana the second time around turns into, out of one failed play from Genji, tons of plate gold for Zeka, a kill for the Tristana.
Extra little bit of money. The problem is that it's not a tempo advantage with the fact that, you know, you're just taking a turret on both sides. Not really going to do too much, especially with even grubs. And now Delight possibly in trouble. There's the flash out. Bullet time immediately as Delight gets the knock-up. It's just not quite enough there. But the turnaround from Viper. Really making it through the targets he didn't want to hit.
And yes, Chovy will get this enter here bottom side, but this is a huge win here for Hanwha Life and a lot of map control. The mid tower
proc ends up being more than enough damage. And what happens then is Genji, yes, they get the top side inner,
yeah,
but
that's a lot of money to put into his pockets, then head mid and then look for that mid turret that we were talking about earlier. Will really solidify the control over the map that Hanwha Life has. Just
whoa, that's the flash head up Pulve as they look for some damage onto Delight, but don't really find any of it at all. And now Lehen's just a little bit too far forward. The Mystic shots are landing, but the will is unbreakable. So Lehen's going to be able to keep himself alive. It's a big cooldown that they've used, though.
A lot there. Canyon and Pace their ultimates. A lot going into Delight, who really isn't that aggressive. Chovy.
Oh, okay. Zeka looks for the angle, and he finds the solo under the top outer turret. The Zeka outplay in game 4. Can see him grasping roots now on cooldown, but you can see Genji now just going to back away. I think they know that they're going to have to give this dragon up. No soul point for them at this point in time. And this is feeling like Hanwha Life Esports actually finding a little bit left in the tank, finding a little bit more. And they haven't relinquished control of the tempo in this game. The hook is going to go wide, but they're the ones that are utilizing first move on map so well. Can Genji fight it back, though? That's the question. As Keen just running towards Delight, but Doran says no, you will not kill my support. So much damage down on the key now, and it's Zeka that's able to help. Doran grabbed that kill, and now Viper with the true shot barrage. The hook comes through. Doran finding an extra one. Chovy this time is able to take one, but he's the last man standing. As look at that, the leapfrog from Zeka, but he's going to be moved back towards mid lane with that disengaged cone, as Valdez would say. But it's only Chovy left. I mean, it was
Already was a pretty big disaster. Zeka first finds the outplay on top, then starts Goomba stomping this position. How do you actually make this comp function, right? Because if Keen walks up, he gets hooked. If Lance finds a big pick, could be something.
Yeah, that's Headbutt Pulve. It's only on to Peanut here as the Stranglethorns does go down, but Twisted Advance is one heck of an ability, and that gets him out of there. True Shot Barrage now landing onto 2, and Keen, all he can do is run. You can see now Zeka getting caught out just a little bit, but he will survive. Viper, that Fog of War is now Viper wanting to take matters into his own hands. That's another hook, but it hits the air this time. And Life, they lose no one. That's a lot of cooldowns. Otherwise, not too much more, and they're still going to move over towards this Baron.
Everyone's so low on the side of Gen G. It's
There's
really
no
difficult to
TPs.
contest. There's no TPs. You say they can't back. They're going to come over and contest anyways, it looks like, or at least Lahenda's coming over. But
I mean, they're going to look at it, but I don't know whether Canyon can get in here. He walks over, but Peanut says nope. They're a little bit too fast. And now a 6,000 gold lead is what we're approaching. The Rebel Baron power play hasn't even gotten started yet. And Life Esports, they're looking to try and, like, they're pulling out the record now. Silver Scrapes is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Maokai, which in of itself, obviously, has a lot of ways to get away from damage, has his ultimate, has Locket, has Randwinds.
Yep, lots of health and stuff.
And then everyone else has either multiple jumps, can hook you back, and just immediately blow you up in the case of Blitz.
And we already saw that. Like, Delight gets a hook, gets a punch, and then you kill him maybe, but whoever kills him is just also going down. There's no way out. It's just so, it's almost...
And yours is pretty dark. Delight is just going to be such a menace. Like, it's win more versus win more, and Life Esports are winning. That's the problem here for Gen G. It's so hard to find your way back in without a miracle play, without something huge happening that catches them off guard. And this is now Peanut taking that front foot. They are just going to use the ultimate to zone. The hook is going to come through as well, but it's just an uppercut. Lahen's just going to walk it off. Still the turret goes down, and that's what they were looking for.
They go back as Lahen's, you know he's looking, yes, Flash, you know he needs to make a hero play for this to work out, but I feel like Life, the counter engage is just so nuts as the TP comes in.
Yeah, the
They do
Nature's
know.
Grasp is already there. They're trying to hold him into position. There is the knock-up. Lahen's does press his R button in time, and Viper is presented for his team, but it's not going to be followed up on. And into the backline goes Doran. He gets his Stranglethorns, and it does nothing because he just jumps out of the way. The Twisted Advance, and Pace can't flash away from it. He'll be going down here as Zeka just chases forward. It's a double kill, and that is going to be Silver Scrapes queued up for the second time this year, spring and summer. We're going to 5.
And Gen G, if they're going to get the Pentafeat, they are going to have to earn it. This was not the one-sided series that most predicted. Maybe it'll be the series that Ox predicted if Hanwha can get it done back-to-back, as he gave it a 5-er for Hanwha Life Esports, but he was the only one. And Hanwha Life just showing way more resilience than we gave him credit for. The Nexus still stands. They do
Ended
not
up coming back, winning Worlds. 2022, DRX, down 1 and 2. Ended up making it back, winning. And again, just the fact that we are about to go to a Game 5 in of itself is a testament to Hanwha's improval. They've been able to clutch it out in these Game 5s, but the fact that we're getting there in the first place is insane.
Oh, Gen G, they might have found an angle. The arcane shift was perfectly timed. It's Delight. He's even able to walk back and punch them. The Mystic Shot's not quite landing just yet, but the Nature's Grasp comes in, and now they're stationary. Viper finding the Q, and he's wiping them out. Gen G, it was a Hail Mary, but unfortunately, it's a Hail Game 5, as Life Esports will now take down the inhibitor and take down these Nexus turrets. We're going the distance. 2 seasons in a row here in the LCK, and we'd have it no other way.
And you can see a big grin on Zeka's face as it happens. Peanut puts his hand on his back, gives him a little bit of reassurance that maybe Hanwha Life can dethrone Gen G.
Momentum. And ever since that dive, from that point on, there was none to be found. We see a little bit like the early lead that was built by Keen, but that alone was never going to be enough. The moment you start falling behind, it was always going to be hard for Genji. And as it turns out, Hanwha Life are going to bring us to another game 5.
I never thought we'd see it today.
No.
I never thought it was going to happen.
But one man did, or at least a few. That's why we've seen it banned so many times throughout this series already. The rift that Hanwha Life are presenting right now, but you never know what could happen here as Genji Esports look to try and make that 5 beat happen, and Hanwha Life Esports look to stop it here in Game 5.
Big threat in fights, and she has backline threat, or you're just against a champion with so much utility, which makes it really hard to play the game. Noi's old teammate last time was able to steal it away. Could
Certainly a
possibly
few old teammates of his down here on the bottom
Yeah,
side.
we'll see. They might be teleporting Keen down again. Lance is already at the turret. That was a crucial mistake in the first game. They might still look for a dive.
Yeah, 4 versus 2. I've seen this one before. That is going to be Lance taking so much damage, but he finds the hook. It is once again going to be the 1-for-1. But can they find more? That's the question. Doran does not have turret aggro, so he's just able to walk it off.
This isn't the type of game where one team needs to get a lead, or one team needs to do X, Y, Z before. So the hook.
Oh, another Hex Splash hook does come on in there as Pays gets satcheled away.
Canyon down a level.
There's a lot of people on the way. Might just try and look for a drive-by. It's a big risk, though, with where the dragon is.
Yeah, I do think that if he does want to go for this one, just don't.
Maybe a catch?
That would be my...
No.
He's like a
suggestion.
ward away
Have
from
that
that win con to buy further time to catch up or give yourself a better team fight. They already got that first dragon as well. Canyon's coming in.
Yeah, looking for the angle there. They don't quite find the dredge line as Doran does get impaled, but he's surviving for so long. The exhaust goes down, but it just does not do enough. The Grandmaster's Mind comes in. The Ziggs takes the first kill. The Jax finally goes down, but now it's Hanwha Life Esports' turn to get aggressive. Great stun to come through from the Shattering Strike. Keen, does he have enough buns? It's Cassante. So of course he does, but not enough to get out of the cease and desist, and Zeka is going to put him down. Hanwha Life 4-2.
And Hanwha read the play. It's the double teleport that makes the difference.
One down was an early smite as now Zeka's in trouble on the top side of the map. Does get that shield back, and oh, that satchel's so good! Bouncing Bomb is not going to quite find the kill back, but he saves his mid laner. Viper, bit of a hero for Hanwha Life Esports in this game.
This top wave,
Yeah.
and we'll
Now
see.
Bolt breakering his way out.
It's gonna have to be a good Drake.
Yeah, Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't do enough to try and steal away a dragon
Atlas.
or anything like... Yeah, no, I told you. What do you mean? You didn't read the script?
Push this one down with the help of Canyon and the 4 grubs they
Gonna
have.
be mid.
Yep, and Rift Herald is going to come down. The trade for Outer on the bottom side for Outer here in the mid lane.
So it's a 2-for-1 here in favor of Hanwha Life.
Yeah, they're able to grab that, and now Genji should be able to oh, never mind. Peanut is going for another drive. Now, we know that Peanut is an eclectic driver, and he is now just going to crash it into his mid lane turret. So Shelly is going to wander back once again, under the wings or something, which is where you go, because it doesn't look like, you know, you're not really visible. It's all right, yeah, Lahan's out of position. Bolt Break is going to connect. Hanwha Life Esports looked a little apprehensive, but Lahens is just dead, and they know it. Zeka going to be able to lock down that kill, make it 5 versus 2, as now Chovy spotted here by Delight. They're going to teleport in, they're looking for it. Cease and desist going to be their good smite from Canyon, but the blue buff, it definitely belongs to Hanwha.
Just to get these LCK records, these domestic
Titles,
domestic
yeah.
dominant and
Yeah.
the titles that they've been able to get. That's
Achievements
all.
are huge. I mean,
They don't know. Canyon's in the pit.
Yeah, Delight finding a little angle here. This could be a huge impale. Canyon! He gets on in there, the impale only onto one. Zeka is not going to be focused here as the cease and desist into the backline. Mega Inferno Bomb, it's Chovy that's the target, and Chovy they will find. Pays gets into the backline though. It's a Hextech minefield and he's just destroyed. Delight is trying to keep Keen busy, but that is not a good use of Keen's time as Hanwha Life Esports win the fight.
I mean, you see there again. I think ideally, maybe Peanut's the one that you take out of the fight, right? The problem here is Canyon maybe looking.
Yeah, maybe wanting to find a little bit of an angle here, but Doran just going to jump in and trying to find an angle. 52, as that is going to be the Ziggs that takes down the Dragon.
Life have basically full control of the vision.
Banana Brush does come on in there as Doran looking for an angle. Blast Cone over from Canyon. He's going to disengage. Minefield is down now, but cooldown's not exactly the longest at level 16.
The poke from Genji isn't really landing. Chovy and Paze doesn't feel like they're really doing enough. Might just come down to a flip, and Peanut has been really good at this as Vi as well.
Yeah, these bouncing bombs actually really hurt Keen as well. As you can see, at Deathcap doing some work, Doran standing on this blast cone. Could probably find an angle into the back of that pit. Speaking of the back of the pit, Canyon is going to go on over. They know that the jungler is out. There is the brush here, the Ocean Soul sort of helping out here as far as keeping Genji hidden and away from these bombs. The Dragon's going to be disengaged from man. You can feel the intensity between these squads. Whoever pulls the trigger, they might throw for their team, right? That's what you have to remember. This is game 5.
Peanut's hiding.
Oh man, it's so dark in that Dragon Pit. Genji know that they can't give up this soul. It's going to be so devastating. Zeka, he tanks that Void Seeker, and then immediately the rest of the team dive on top of him just in case. There's the dive bomb to come through. Viper, he takes that one. Doran still looking for a little bit of an angle here. Zeka in an awkward position in the back of the pit now. Doran looks for the angle. He finds the counter-strike. There's the knock-up. The Impale is massive, but so is Mega Inferno Bomb. And now they all pile in. Paze is going to be taken down first. Keen is out of the fight. And Genji, they don't have the men to do battle against Hanwha Life Esports around the Dragon. They'll take the Dragon away, but Hanwha Life Esports may have just won the game.
Hanwha Life are definitely going to be looking towards the Baron. Doran ensuring that Canyon can't leave.
Down he will fall, very likely. He might be able to escape here against this Jax, but with this stun, it's less likely. He's very slippery, very difficult to lock down, but keeping him this low health means he might as well be dead. The Baron belongs to Hanwha Life. And the target selection on that fight, the flank from Peanut, the engage from Doran.
He's just dead. I think, was that like one balloon from a Hextech Minefield? As that is a decent cue from Keen, but now with a whole bunch of friends, Hanwha Life Esports should be able to defend Doran here and grab themselves an inner turret. Very difficult to get that demolished.
Got his Vi, and it's Zeka's Yone. It's about as classic Hanwha as you can get with Delight on the Rel. And this team has shown some magic in the past. They took that first game in this series and made you believe, and made you want to think that maybe Genji could be toppled this time.
Oh, Mega Inferno Bomb just to soften them up here. And you can hear this stadium is starting to come alive. Doran is going to be the first one to break open the base successfully. And now they might be looking for this team fight. Genji, this is the last chance to keep the Pentapete alive.
One more fight, one more shot.
Doran looking for a flank angle, gets onto a control ward back here, knows that he's unseen. And this is another shot at Soul as well. That's a ward that you're standing on there, Doran, a little bit dangerous. But they are going to move on top of this Dragon right now. Bouncing bomb, a lot of damage onto Canyon. Paze still wanting to try and find that window, find that angle. The hook is going to connect. The knock-up onto Peanut as he flashes out, ults back in. The Impale is decent, but the Yone's already struck. Chovy trying to get himself out of there, but Paze once again is going to get executed, and Chovy is the next in line. He'll break his arm guard, but I think that Hanwha Life want to break more than that, as the Q is going to miss. Chovy's still going to go down, and Hanwha Life Esports another team fight win, and this one, I think, was the real backbreaker.
The final Rocks Tiger stand strong, gets the engage on, it doesn't matter. Zeka, the only win he ever had against Chovy was that World semi-final, but guess what? He's about to get another one.
It's another game 5 for Zeka. We didn't know what would happen, but we should have assumed that if it's game 5, he gets it done. Him and Viper able to put that work in. One last fight here as Delight is taken down. But Lahens, I think, is going to follow soon. Peanut is going to say goodnight to his ex-teammate, and they get to work on the Nexus turrets. Hanwha Life Esports have changed history, and they will end the reign of Genji, and a new Tiger is in charge here in the LCK.
Hanwha Life Esports, our first finals under this banner. 8 years since Rocks Tigers, and since they acquired this team, that have the last Rocks Tiger on the roster, a former player of the team that wanted to make history with 5 titles in a row. The 5-peat is denied. And history was made not just once with T1 not making the final here, defeated by Hanwha, but Hanwha beat the other side of our rivalry, of our repeated Gen.G T1 matchup, the one that's always prophesized, the one we always know is coming, but Hanwha will lift the trophy tonight.